The time is 1:15. Here is the news, edited by Ramesh Perez. Read by Victor Raj. Here are the headlines of the local news. The Prime Minister orders to impose curfew in the Western Province. The BASL stress the need to adhere to the Constitution and rule of law. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa leaves the country. The Indian High Commission refute claims of travel facility to President Rajapaksa. Litro Company announces gas distribution to expand beyond Colombo. The Motor Traffic Department closed on Fridays. The Ceylon Commercial Fertilizer Company says the distribution of urea shipment to be distributed through agrarian services. International news, US announces major Pacific push. Embassies in Tonga on Kiribati. Sports news, cricket. The third edition of the Lanka Premier League to kick-start on the 1st of August. Local news in detail. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe has instructed to impose curfew in the Western Province with immediate effect. Emergency law to be imposed across the country. Inspector General of Police and security forces instructed to arrest those rioting and take vehicles that are transporting mobs and those behaving in a violent manner into custody. The Sri Lanka Bar Association issued a statement emphasizing the need to adhere to the Constitution and the rule of law. In doing so, they reiterate their call for a peaceful and smooth transition of power while accepting this short-term framework presented by the party leaders. They also mentioned that the association is deeply concerned about statements made by various parties, including members of certain protest groups, which appear to undermine the rule of law and the Constitution of Sri Lanka. It is essential for Sri Lankan citizens to respect the rule of law at this crucial time, and the Bar Association requests that the people staying in places including the President's house and the Temple House to hand over the building to the relevant authorities. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa left the country for the Maldives in the early hours today, along with his wife and two security officers amid mass-scale protests against him. Rajapaksa landed at the Velena International Airport in the Maldives at 3:07 a.m. on Wednesday, and the Maldives capital was under heavy security at that time. Sources said that President Mohamed Nasheed had requested President Ibrahim Solih for the Rajapaksas to land in Maldives, and clearance was received. Meanwhile, the Sri Lanka Air Force confirmed that it has given an Air Force flight early morning for President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and the First Lady, along with two security officials at the Katunaik International Airport to fly to Maldives. The flight was given in accordance with the powers vested in an executive president in the Constitution of Sri Lanka, at the request of the existing government, subject to the full approval of the Ministry of Defence and subject to immigration, customs and all other laws at the BIA. The Indian High Commission in Colombo denies media reports that India facilitated the recent reported travel of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and the former Minister of Finance Basil Rajapaksa out of Sri Lanka. Taking to Twitter, it reiterated that India will continue to support the people of Sri Lanka. The Indian High Commission pledged their support to the Sri Lankan people in realizing aspirations for prosperity and progress through democratic means and values, established democratic institutions and constitutional framework. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Scan the Lanka QR code and make your payments with People's Pay mobile payment app from People's Bank.
Continuing with more local news, Litro Company has announced that gas will be distributed to outstations areas from today. Its chairman, Mudita Piri, said that starting today, 50,000 gas cylinders will be released each day. He also mentioned the 40,000 gas cylinders are planned to be distributed to Colombo district today. Meanwhile, another ship carrying 3,725 metric tons of gas reached the island last afternoon. On the 10th, a ship carrying 3,700 metric tons of gas arrived in the island, and the gas distribution activities are currently continuing. Ceylon Commercial Fertilizer Company says that the stock of urea provided under the Indian loan scheme has been safely distributed to the respective areas according to the quantity requested. Its chairman, Metsiri Abegunavardhana, said that GPS technology has been used to monitor the lorries in order to prevent irregularities while the lorries carrying fertilizers are traveling to the Agricultural Services Center. In the meantime, Ministry of Agriculture stated that it is planned to carry out distribution activities for districts like Batiklo, Anuradhapura and Hambantota as per the requirement. A bundle of fertilizer is to be sold to the farmers for 10,000 rupees. While in the open market, this fertilizer bundle is currently sold at a price of more than 40,000 rupees. That ends local news.
Nobody looks for hotels like this. So why do you still pay with cash when you have People's Pay mobile app from People's Bank? Scan the Lanka QR code and make your payments with People's Pay mobile payment app from People's Bank.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The Department of Motor Traffic will remain closed on Fridays. Commissioner General Sumit Alahakon issuing a statement said due to the current fuel shortage in the country, officials of the department have been unable to secure public and private transport facilities due to the concerns in the transport sector. However, the department will be open on Friday, the 15th of July. The department said all offices will be closed on Fridays until further notice, unless a public holiday falls during the 5 working days. The Commissioner General of Motor Traffic requested the public to contact 0707 677 877 for vehicle registrations and 0707 677 977 for driving license during working hours for the further clarifications.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Moving on to Watchlight, the Sri Lanka Railway Department has taken steps to introduce an emergency number for commuters for contacting the department easily. They said that commuters who want to contact the department for any question about railway services, train schedules or other related information can do so at any time by dialing 1971. People can contact the department through the hotline in all 3 languages. The new 24-hour emergency number will be operational from tomorrow after 7 a.m. That ends Watchlight. Moving on to world news, let's take a look at the headlines. U.S. announces major Pacific push. Embassies in Tonga, Kiribati. 8 left in the contest to lead Conservatives to become the next Prime Minister in the UK. Twitter sues Elon Musk over $44 billion takeover deal. World news in detail. The United States have unveiled a major push into the Pacific region, seeking to counter China's growing influence, with Vice President Kamala Harris announcing $600 million in funding at a key regional summit. In a video address to the Pacific Island Forum in Fiji today, Harris also said the U.S. would open 2 new embassies in Tonga and Kiribati and appoints its first ever envoy to the Pacific. It has already announced plans to reopen its embassy in Solomon Islands. Tory MPs are to cast their first votes in the contest to replace Boris Johnson as party leader and Prime Minister. After nominations closed, the 8 hopeful took part in a hosting event in Parliament as part of the efforts to secure support from their colleagues. They have to secure 30 votes in the first round to stay in the race. Further votes will take place over the next few days in order to whittle the number of candidates down to 2. Twitter has taken billionaire Elon Musk to court to try to force him to buy the social media firm, setting up a legal battle with the world's richest man. It comes after Mr. Musk announced he was walking away from the proposed $44 billion takeover of Twitter on Friday. He claimed Twitter had not given information about the number of fake and spam accounts on the platform. Twitter chairman Brett Taylor tweeted that the microblogging site wanted to hold Elon Musk accountable to his contractual obligations. To wrap up the world news, let's take a look at the headlines once again. US announces major Pacific push embassies in Tonga and Kiribati. 8 left in the contest to lead Conservatives to become the next Prime Minister in the UK. Twitter sues Elon Musk over $44 billion takeover deal. That ends world news. Moving on to development news, according to the Sri Lanka Foreign Employment Bureau, in June this year alone, 27,937 migrant workers have gone abroad for work, and out of them, 18,083 people have gone abroad on their own. The Sri Lanka Foreign Employment Bureau states that 9,854 people went abroad for work through licensed foreign employment agencies in June. From January to the first week of July this year, a total of 156,179 people have gone abroad for work, out of which 100,767 people have gone abroad through self-employment and 55,411 through licensed foreign employment agencies. That is development news. Sports news is brought to you by
Sampath Bank. We present your future.
Cricket news. The third edition of the Sri Lanka Premier League commenced from August 1st with the Jaffna Kings, the reigning champions, taking on Galle Gladiators, who were the runners-up of the 2021 at the curtain raiser fixture. In total, 24 matches will be played during the tournament, with 20 first-round games and 4 final-round games, including the finals. The first 14 games will be played at the R. Premdas International Cricket Stadium, Colombo, while the tournament will move into Mahinda Rajapaksa International Cricket Stadium, Hambantota, starting from August 13. The qualifier first and the qualifier eliminate matches will be played on August 17th and 19th, while grand final scheduled to be played at August 21st at Hambantota. That ends sports news.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Business news sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Sri Lanka's 72-year-old leading public quoted company Hemas Holding plc is set to enter the Omani market, according to the Sri Lanka Embassy in Muscat. Ambassador of Sri Lanka to the Sultanate of Oman, together with Hemas Senior Manager for International Business Promotions, met the chairman of the Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the sole representative of the entire Oman private sector, and introduced the Hemas brand. They also discussed ways and means to present Hemas products into the Omani market and future scope for establishing a Hemas manufacturing facility in Sultanate. That ends business news.
Business news sponsored by
cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Moving on to economic news, Sri Lanka's Central Bank Governor Dr. P. Nandanal Veerasinghe said on Monday that he would stay in the job but warned that prolonged political instability in the country may delay progress on negotiations with the International Monetary Fund for a bailout package. The IMF said on Sunday it was hoping for a resolution to the political turmoil to allow a resumption of talks for the bailout package. That ends economic news. Finally, on to the weather report. The Meteorological Department forecast several spells of showers to occur in the Sabaragamuwa province and in the Nuwara Eliya, Kandigol and Mathura districts. A few showers will occur in the western and northwestern provinces. Strong winds, about 50 km per hour, can be expected at some places, including western slopes of the Central Hills and in northern, north-central and northwestern provinces and in Trincomalee and Hambantota districts. That ends the weather report. To wrap up the afternoon news on Radio Sri Lanka, let's take a look at the headlines once again. The Prime Minister orders to impose curfew in the Western Province. The BASL stressed the need to adhere to the Constitution and the rule of law. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa leaves the country. India denies reports of facilitating President Rajapaksa's departure. Litro Company announces gas distribution to expand beyond Colombo. The Motor Traffic Department closed on Fridays. The Ceylon Commercial Fertilizer Company says the distribution of urea shipment from India to be distributed through agrarian services. International news, US announces major Pacific push embassies in Tonga and Kiribati. Sports news, cricket, the third edition of the Lanka Premier League to kick-start on the 1st of August. That ends the afternoon news on Radio Sri Lanka.